What is up, guys? Back in today with another reaction to A Star Brighter Than the Sun, this time with episode 8, I think. We had the play last episode, which was really fun. Done pretty well, also. I can't remember too much of what happened in the second half, but yeah, we'll get straight into this one. So, playing some football. It's double sock weather here, is what I would say. Maybe triple sock weather. Absolutely freezing. What the hell? What's this about? Why have we got sprinklers on a dirt field? No grass in sight. Is that a thing? They water mud for football pitches in Japan? I mean, I know for a fact they play on grass and AstroTurf, but if there was a mud, yeah, nice. I will have to say, playing football with like maybe like half an hour of rain, just like a sprinkle of rain on a grass pitch is like the best possible like pitch you could play on, like a nice even grassy pitch with just a sprinkle of water, so the passes have a bit of pace on them. One thing I hate playing on is a dirt ass pitch like that. It's always bobbly and bouncy and hurts your feet because it's so tough. And you get quite a few of them around summertime in the UK. It's extraordinary how it goes from like winter grey, green to summer kind of brown and blue. I'm just kind of wondering what the sprinkler's for. I guess the pitch would be a bit nicer if it was a little bit more muddy and wet rather than just tough ass dirt, but at that point you're just like you're playing on pitches from like the 60s, the 50s. There's that posture thing, you know, and that straight line and the diagonal thing. If you guys have seen that, I'm not sure that's. I don't know. I feel you could equate that to a few things. Actually, I wouldn't say that's all bogus. That whole thing about like the bottom being the one that kind of leans over. I'd say there definitely is some psychological things going on there that is probably quite accurate, but not in every case. I'll never fully get my head around the Japanese school schedule. This is around when school would be ending for us in the UK. I think it's like June time. Rice balls. And a big box. Well, that seems a bit rude, doesn't it, if he's making them for him? Don't sound it. Oh, some hit. Where did this ball end up? How did it get here? I was gonna say, is this some kind of fantasy show? The ball not just somehow entered the building, even though all the windows were closed. Also messed up the room. Didn't quite mess up the room, thankfully. Yeah, man, this is gonna sound sad as fuck, I think. But I always used to play card games with myself. Didn't really have too many people to play with. Yu-Gi-Oh especially, but I'd play Pokemon sometimes. I never never knew the rules to play Pokemon, so I just like absolutely just made up rules. But I'd always make like two decks in Yu-Gi-Oh and like play each other. I'd always remember being a little bit kind of forgiving on myself, which sounds very ironic, being forgiving on myself, but I'd always like favour the deck I liked a bit more and maybe not play optimally with the other one. Sounds very sad, I know. But there wasn't too many people that played Yu-Gi-Oh. I did have a friend, one of my only friends from primary school, and I got along quite well with him. He played Yu-Gi-Oh. I went around his like once or twice, but then he ended up stealing my tin with all my shiny cards in, all my rare, and probably nowadays quite expensive. I'd hate to think how expensive they are nowadays, but yeah, all my shiny and rare cards he stole and never got them back because he denied it, and I don't know why. This sounds really stupid as well, but no one ever used to believe me. The same guy stole my new swimming hat, which I bought, and it was the same hat as he had, but his was dirtier and he had it for ages. He switched them around, and I said something, and we went to the principal, and the principal fucking went off at me and said I was the one like making things up and such, and I guess that maybe was a foretelling of future events because, like I said, no one ever believed me with any of this stuff. So one of those things. It sounds very depressing, but as a kid, when you learn that, what does that tell you? That tells you to never bring anything like that up. That tells you it's pointless even doing anything. But you know what I've done? I went to school the next day and I kicked him in the balls. Because that's how I handled it. You've taught me that going to someone and telling people didn't work. So I went and kicked him in the balls, and then I got even more trouble. So yeah, not a worthy trade whatsoever. Like, he got a bunch of really rare, expensive cards. I got the pleasure of kicking him in the balls. I think he won out on that, but it was quite sad. One of my only friends from primary school, and ended like that. Sounds very depressing, I know, but formative stuff makes you the person you are. But yeah, again, I have loads of memories of just like sitting in my room, just playing Yu-Gi-Oh against myself. The sparkles going on here. Also, I've tried playing shogi myself, and my god, is it complicated. I never really got it. I will say I've only ever really played in the Yakuza games to get like achievements and stuff. But I've never truly like understood what the hell's going on. It seems like a more complicated chess. I do like this guy. He's nice, isn't he? Checkmated, I guess. Like, a lot of the moves are quite similar to chess pieces, like where some of them can move. Some are slightly different, but there's a lot of similarities between how some of the pieces move. But I just like, I don't know. I've still like never really One of those things I think when once it does click, you probably do understand it for life, almost like riding a bike. I can't get my head around it. I think that's also probably because the pieces are in Japanese characters. Weird as that sounds, it shouldn't be that different. But because it looks foreign, it makes it feel more foreign as well as you play it. Is that like some kind of weird psychology in that? That strikes me as something you probably wouldn't be allowed to do in a Japanese school. Yeah, very un-Japanese that one. That was nice. That was nice. Maybe we got a new love interest. Did he just want to like assert himself there? Yeah, that was a nice little time playing a bit of shogi, wasn't it? Spork? I haven't used a spork since I was a kid. It's the cousin. She knows about that. Oh. Nobody in this school has undergone any change from when they were 10 years old. I know it's not what you want to hear, but that is the fact. Which is a good thing in a sense. They've kept their kind of what they call it naivety. They've kept their purity. I don't know. I'm not sure what that word is. They've been tainted by depression and the work life and so on. So it's endearing, but as I said, it is also a little bit naive. I think I might not during this series, but I have mentioned on my channel before. My first date with a girl ever was at the movie theaters. We went to watch Bolt. I think it's I don't know if it's a Disney, but it's like an animated movie. It was alright. Before that, we sat on my bed. I think she was expecting me to kiss her. I hugged her. Have you guys ever seen that? I can't remember what it's from, but that dating video, that guy, and he walks up to. I think it's like they're meant to kiss or something. And he walks up to her and he's like, "Can I kiss you?" She says, "Yeah," and he just like pecks her on the cheek. It was a little bit like that, but without the kiss. I think we just sat on my bed waiting to go to the movie, and I went in, and I think she thought I was going to kiss her, but I hugged her, and it's just like it was. I felt quite awkward. But that was my first experience. I think I was. It was my last year of primary school, so I was like maybe 10 or 11 or something. And she went to my high school as well. I didn't really talk to her afterwards. I always felt really awkward, like really, really awkward. But yeah, that's a memory right there. But yeah, I will say that probably was my most successful cinema date. I've had a couple I've spoken about before. As an older person, that honestly, like that didn't go very well, but that went better than the other ones. The other ones, it wasn't so much the actual, like, it was an alright time. The girls were alright, but it's just the movies were just crap. At least that movie was like enjoyable as a 10-year-old kid. I was really surprised she agreed to it, considering, as I said, I didn't really have too many friends or anything. That is nice, isn't it? I like that kind of style of jumper. On women. I don't know suit men all too well. Bruh. That face was brighter than the sun right there. That is the name of the show, right? That doesn't show me. Star brighter than the sun, yeah. That was a face brighter than the sun right there. That was blinding. But that would be a really nice surprise if all those guys were there at the cinema as well. They won't be, but that'd be really quite funny. Oh, come on. That's so embarrassing. Luckily, I'm much more of a stairs guy. I avoid an elevator where I can, which is pretty much all the time. There's always a stairs option, so I always go to the stairs. But yeah, I guess that's a positive for me that I won't ever have to deal with that. But that would be majorly embarrassing, wouldn't it? Probably more so as a woman. Oh no, the kids can't see. I mean, they can't see anyway. They can't see anyway. There's no one there. That's so uncomfortable though. Also, they picked some pretty bad seats here. Um, that can't be comfortable. I'm a bit of a fidgeter in the cinema, I can't lie. Oh, it's an English. Oh, it's Spider-Man. Bro's flinching. It's fucking Doc Ock. Deja vu. Again, there's just something endearing about that. Just like simple ass, like smile that he does. Isn't there? I say that, to be fair, in Spider-Man 2, it Sam Raimi at the helm is pretty. He does make Doc Ock pretty damn scary, to be honest with you. The first scene in the movie is filmed like a horror sequence, like something out of Evil Dead. It's really fucking awesome. There's even a little reference. The English is pretty fucking good. And now we've got Phantom of the Opera. We've got Phantom of the Opera, Star Wars, Spider-Man right here. I am your mother. And that's how it ends? That you end a movie like that? You can't. What a terrible movie. You can't end a movie like that. So yeah, that was just a mix-up of those three movies right there. Absolutely, wasn't it? Oh, Sidious. I've always liked that name, Darth Sidious. Something really cool about that. Yeah, obviously the Vader moment. Oh, that's a pancake and a half. Holy shit! What's that? Use that right now. That's thick. That is. Jesus. Be one of those. Oh. Set my stomach off a bit. I need some food. Got an iceberg in a drink. Spidey man. Oh, I didn't notice that. Spidey. 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 That was Spidey Man that they've been talking about, was it? Yeah, read the room, bro. It's a man and a woman in front of you. Get the fuck up. Get away. Well, junior high was a bit of a myth in the show, isn't it? Because that first episode, we skipped from primary school right to college, it looks like. Well, not college, but high school. That middle portion really was just like skipped over. It's quite crazy, isn't it? Didn't speak for a whole 3 or 4 years, I think it is. And now they're buddy again. Like crazy, really. I mean, I guess stuff like that happens when you're in high school, though. Stuff like that doesn't really happen too much as an adult. '10 years anniversary of knowing each other. June. Sounds a lot like June. June. A big old poo. It's in the cinema so long. Nice. I thought they were going to hit on her. I think you might think that as well. I mean, these guys look don't look like that kind of guy, do they? Yeah, they look harmless. Bless them. They look like the kindest souls you've ever seen in your life. I get where he's coming from here, but they do not pose a threat, do they? They don't look like the warning signs of threat don't appear when you look at those guys, do they? They're really nice. Wait, sorry, what is he wearing? I'm no fashionista, but what are those trousers? Like the shirt tucked in, and the trousers at like 3/4 lengths. Damn. Again, maybe my fashion sense is just off, but that looks horrid. Jesus, that looks like something I used to. I think everyone's had a phase. Who lives in the UK? I think everyone's had a bit of a phase of 3/4, which are like the in between of shorts and trousers. And they just look awful. But I had a phase of wearing them, and I gotta say, I'd never wear them again in my life. And why would that be? She is sometimes a bit overly explanatory, isn't she, with stuff like that? She could just sum up as like, I'd like that. I mean, I guess it's a bit more in depth, which is nice, I guess, but she's always so in depth with it. Or it could be summed up a lot quicker, I think. I don't know. I think it's just because of how often it happens. Like, once or twice, yeah, but she does this like every episode. I guess it's because she feels that way every episode, but yeah. Well, yeah, you can't end off watching that and just fucking not watch the sequel, right? I mean, honestly, that might be something I'd do. I'd be so pissed off that that's where it ends. I wouldn't even bother watching the sequel because that's not how you end a movie, bro. In general, I kind of hate the premise of 2-part movies. I feel like a movie should be anybody can go and watch it and feel satisfied with the story having a beginning, a middle, and an end. Yes, it could set things up for like a sequel, but yeah. Someone's feelings. That's a cute little hamster. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Good episode here. As I said, I'm starting to get a little bored, I guess, of her kind of inner monologues describing her liking this stuff. Just because, like, it's not the case of I dislike them. It's just, again, it just happens every episode, and it's the same thing said every episode. There's like nothing new to it, so it just feels ultimately, for me anyway, maybe not for the majority of people, but for me, it just feels like a bit of a waste of a couple minutes of like, oh, okay, so you felt the same thing you felt towards him from a similar vibe as last episode, and a week before that, and a week before that. But yeah, just the only slight issue I had with today's episode. But other than that, really nice little date here. Really like this character. He's honestly, maybe he might turn into the actual love interest. I wouldn't be too mad at that because he's quite a nice guy. Had a nice bit of fun there. I think he was kind of asserting himself a little bit here, maybe subconsciously. Kamishiro, I think his name is. I think subconsciously, maybe not as directly as with the tourists, but I feel like something similar happened here, to be honest with you, and it is given those vibes of man protecting his woman. He wants to be seen as a man, as he said earlier in this episode, which is incredibly hard to do, considering again he acts like a 10-year-old. But it's very clear what his intentions are. It's becoming more clear anyway. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you guys think about this episode in the comments though. Make sure to leave a like on the video if you guys did like, and subscribe to the channel if you do want to keep up to date. What I will say is hopefully his sister can give him some advice, because I think that would help him out quite a bit in regards to all of that. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and have a good rest of your day.